there I was, stranded, nowhere to go. I had lost control, in a jungle, on an island, on the other side of the world. But how did I get here? If there's one thing we all hate, it's uncertainty. What if I get fired? What if she leaves? What if the economy crashes? What if I fail? All this tension, it puts us in a permanent state of fear, walking on eggshells, balancing on a tightrope, convinced that one wrong move means game over. We think we're afraid of falling, afraid of losing control. But that's the lie, because the rope was never there to begin with. If uncertainty is heads, then certainty is tails. But we forget they are both on the same coin. So you throw away the coin, and instead you look for a map, a compass, roads, signs, everything you need to know exactly what lies ahead. It creates a cage, and inside, the anxiety and stress goes away. It feels comfortable. You could be dropped into the middle of the Amazon jungle, but if you know where you're going, you'll feel fine. A predator could be stalking you at this very moment, but you're not prepared for it, because you can't see it. This is what the cage does. It creates an illusion. It's so alluring, so powerful, that we turn a blind eye to anything outside the cage. Why risk this certainty? Why follow a call to adventure that doesn't have a map? So we sit tight. We use coping mechanisms. We sedate ourselves to keep the unknown at bay. We get comfortable with who we are, and where we're going. No need to change a thing. But strangely enough, no matter how much you try to control the future, something always gives. You end up in a car crash, your partner leaves you, you get robbed, you get fired, you have 3 months of runway left, your brain panics, you are filled with adrenaline, a volatile cocktail of emotions. We can't believe it. How could I lose that job? How could she do that? How? You're disorientated. The spell has broken. The view outside is not what you thought it was. It feels as if the universe has made a grand error, as if this shouldn't be possible. But nonetheless, it's happened. Frantically, you reach for the map, but it's blank. This is new territory, and you have been tossed into the unknown. I know this feeling inside out. A few years ago, I travelled to Koh Samui, Thailand, a tropical paradise. Palm trees, good food, great weather. I was comfortable, so I decided to run around the whole island. I got out a map, calculated the distance, figured out the route, and it ended up being an ultra-marathon. So, with no preparation, on Saturday morning, I set sail. The first few hours were magical, beautiful light, empty roads. It was great, until suddenly it wasn't. About 1/3 of the way through, I stopped to check my progress, but my phone was locked. The sweat in my pocket had triggered the screen. I thought, no problem, I'll just check it in an hour. I kept running, but my knees started to click. The sun was scorching. I'd never been on this side of the island. I was lost. And I checked my phone again. It read, iPhone unavailable. Try again in 8 hours. I began to panic. I started to cramp up, sitting under a blazing sun, disorientated. My knees were failing, but I decided to continue. And eventually I found a roadside shack, a mini restaurant, and it turned out I had been running for 8 hours. And the chef looked at me like I was a ghost. I sat down to have some food, but that was the worst decision I could have made. He pointed down the road and told me I was still 15 miles from home. I didn't think I could go on, but I was only 15 miles away. On April 13th, 1970, 3 men were 200,000 miles away. 55 hours into the flight, oxygen tank number 2 didn't just fail, it detonated. It blew the side of the spaceship off. Oxygen, water, and power all venting into the void. The map, the perfect flight plan they had practiced for years, was now a suicide note. They had to make a choice: cling to the broken ship or surrender the mission. They moved into the lunar module, a tiny lifeboat designed to land on the moon, not to fly home. It was built for 2 men for 2 days, now had to carry 3 men for 4. They were freezing, dehydrated, drifting in the dark. They had thrown away the manual and now they were flying blind. And I'm sure you felt that way. In fact, maybe you're there right now, holding onto a map with no directions, lost, flying blind with no control, unsure, ruminating on what is going to happen next. Whether something has caught you by surprise or you followed a call to adventure that hasn't gone to plan, no one escapes the experience of uncertainty. But even if you are at the bottom of the barrel, you have to make a choice. Sure, you cannot control the weather, the climate, the people around you, or the outcome, but you can control what you do about it. When the chef told me that I had 15 miles left, I had to decide. My phone was dead, my legs were barely movable, but I made a promise to myself. I would arrive home coming from the other side of the road. So I got my sweaty ass out of the chair and started running. The sun began to set. Suddenly, the road started to look familiar. Running at a snail's pace, I kept getting closer. 15 miles became 10, 10 became 5, and after 14 hours of running, at around 9 PM, I crossed the finish line. I had ran 37 miles around the island. And 200,000 miles away, the Apollo 13 crew had to make their final move. They hit the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour. They entered the blackout, where all communication is shut off. A normal blackout lasts 3 minutes, but 1 minute went by, then 2, then 3, then 4. Mission Control thought they had lost them. Then suddenly, the radio silence broke. Okay, Joe, they had landed. It became known as a successful failure. The tightrope was never there. All this fear in our minds is made up. The cage and the spell are illusions. The truth is, we are all in the wild. No one truly knows what is going to happen next. No one truly knows what is around the corner. Otherwise, why would life always take such sharp turns? It is only after we let go of this illusion of control that we become free. Free to try something new. Free from the anxiety we carry around. There is a scene from the movie Fight Club that says,
"Stop trying to control everything and just let go."
That doesn't mean drive yourself into a ditch, but it means stop stressing about a future that hasn't happened yet. Instead, focus on what you can do. Focus on what is in your control. If anything, uncertainty should be a signal that if you follow that uncertain road, it may lead to somewhere better than where you are now, in this certain world, which, as we've discovered, isn't truly certain anyway. There is only one thing that is certain in life, and that is it comes to an end. So why not take the risk? Why not try that idea and see where the ride goes, and accept that you are not in control?